Hey guys! Welcome to Lady Shuna. I am a new Tensura channel. In this video we will continue the chapter 1, of volume 19, of Tensura light novel. If you haven't watched the previous video, please feel free to visit my channel. The links can also be found in the description below. If you like this kind of content, then please consider leaving a like, and subscribe to the channel. All media used in this video are used in the purpose of entertainment and education, under the terms of fair use. All clips, images and music belongs to their respective owners. So without further ado, let's get into the video. In the case of Arios, the remnants of his human life had not yet been shed, and he was fatally weakened. If nothing was done, he would have been dealt a crushing blow and would have died.
Who are you?
Sue, who had jumped back as soon as he sensed the presence, spoke to Mai. It was Vega who answered.
My name is Vega. You should remember this and be grateful that I gave it to such small fry.
Upon hearing this, Sue wondered if his facade would slip away. In all honesty, Sue was aware that he was prone to losing his temper. However, that was a demerit for a covert agent, so he had learned how to separate his head from his heart and turn his anger into energy. Normally, he would be angry, but would also smile coolly and then calmly torture his enemies. This time, however, it seemed to be difficult to do so, because Sue understood at first glance that Vega had become abnormally strong. This person is one of the leaders of Cerberus, Vega of Power. What happened in this short period of time that he became so different from the previous findings? In this world, it was possible for one's power to drastically increase to the extent that they became almost like a whole other person. Rimuru, Sue and the others Lord, had also experienced the aforementioned super enhancement, such as with his Demon Lord awakening and the true dragon conversion. Therefore, Sue also had an understanding of such cases. However, that did not mean that he could so easily accept this. Sue believed that it was necessary to answer the question of what had happened with Vega. But that opportunity was lost. Mai did not want to waste time talking and had quickly withdrawn from the scene.
That woman, appearing without any sign and disappearing without any warning. She may be a more troublesome opponent than Vega.
Sue muttered to himself. Khan nodded in agreement.
That was probably a form of instantaneous movement. Whether it's magic or a skill, a preliminary step is required to cross through space. To be able to ignore that and jump instantly from the spot without leaving any trace is something impossible even for the primordials. Although it is theoretically possible, it is a dreamlike feat that has yet to be achieved.
As he walked up to Sue, he gave his reasoning for what Mai had done. Despite his wounds, Khan's demeanor remained dignified. As a high-ranking demon of the demon realm, he continued to express his gratitude for Sue's help. Oxian came over and thanked him along with Khan.
There is need to thank me. I was merely following Rimuru-sama's orders.
Even though the two men had thanked him, Sue was not satisfied. For Sue, allowing the enemy to escape was a huge loss.
Besides, we failed to eliminate that Arios guy. Because of that, we now must assume that our information has been leaked to the enemy, and a harder battle will have to be fought the next time. We've achieved our tactical goal of survival, but I don't think we can be too happy about this.
While Sue responded with his usual matter-of-fact manner, Khan and Oxian looked at each other. From their point of view, they were just grateful to have survived this moment. However, Sue could not afford that luxury, so it was natural for him to be wary of what might happen next. At any rate, just like their opponents, they had obtained information about the enemy. Based on this information, Sue thought it necessary to rethink his strategy for the future, and while reflecting on his failure, he changed his mindset. The battle was over. The forces that had been fighting outside the castle withdrew as soon as Feldway had, and they all left the scene. That's why we were all gathering to meet in the conference room where it was now safe. Benimaru and I participated, along with Sue. Diablo as well. The knight captains of Leon's forces were also there. And Guy and the other demons. There was also the mysterious helper Sylvia-san, Elmesia's mother, who joined in. Not to be forgotten was the important witness, ex-demon lord Kazalim, aka Kigali. I succeeded in using isolation on her at the very last moment, so she was not seriously injured. However, Tyr, who had been protecting Kigali, was badly injured. Because the recovery potion was not working on her, Matel-san, the leader of the White Knights who specialized in recovery, was currently taking care of her in the hospital room. The only way to overcome an attack of the ultimate level was through one's own will. I could only pray for Tyr's recovery. Well, I was worried about Tyr, but there was not much I could do about it. What mattered now was the future, which was why we were here. Each of us would report to the others and share any information about the enemy. The goal was to review our strategies for the future. As soon as our eyes met, a certain someone came right at me.
Rimuru-kun.
It was Guy. He seemed to be holding a grudge against me for ignoring him on the battlefield, and I was positive he only had complaints, so I decided to use my "it never happened" skill to the fullest and cover it up.
You bastard, how dare you ignore me that time?
No, I didn't. I have no idea what you mean by ignoring you.
You were looking right at me.
I didn't notice you at all. More importantly, I'm just glad that everyone's okay.
Hey, don't just change the subject. Besides, Leon's been taken away, so there's no way that everyone's okay.
That's true, but still, we had already taken that into account, right?
Now, things are still on schedule with Leon.
You mean the plan that you were talking about before? I can't help but think you're just pushing off the problem. Are really you sure about this?
Maybe.
Guy glared at me. Regarding Leon, I had actually thought of a plan beforehand. As Seal-san had suggested, using predation on Leon, and destroying the control circuit itself was a surefire countermeasure. The main reason I didn't do that was not because I believed in Leon, rather, I didn't like the idea, physiologically speaking. That was not a joke. But there were other reasons. The first reason was to avoid alarming Michael. By leaving Leon here, I wanted Michael to think that there was nothing we could do against him. The second reason was the hope for the best strategy.
But you agreed when we discussed it, didn't you? If Leon, who is under the enemy's control, comes back to his senses after attacking, we can turn the power gap upside down.
Well, yeah, I agree that it's a reasonable plan, assuming that Leon is safe. If we can get to the point where Leon is attacking, that alone would give us an advantage.
That's what I was thinking. He was right about me pushing off the problem, and there was still the question of whether or not I'd be able to conveniently get there. But if this went well, we could easily take out one of the enemies. Regardless of the number of troops, if we could replace Leon's strength with our own, the battle would be as good as won. As soon as Seal-san suggested that, I had made up my mind. In any case, the die had been cast. Now that Leon had been taken, I had no choice but to act with faith in the success of the mission.
Is Leon-sama going to be okay?
Alrose asked, and I gave him a big nod in response.
We have the means to free him, so don't worry.
It would be bad if he was suddenly executed, but I didn't think Michael would do such a nonsensical thing. That was also why I had approved Seal-san's plan.
Either way, we are out of options. Let's trust His Majesty Rimuru. So then, here's the plan.
Claude-san spoke and re-established the situation. Guy still seemed dissatisfied, but this achieved my goal of diverting the conversation.
Never mind Leon, then. But Rimuru-kun, you definitely made eye contact with me back then, didn't you? Damn it, this guy, he just won't let it go.
What are you talking about?
Don't you dare play dumb with me. You bastard, I was having such a hard time dealing with Velzard, and you just ran away without even pretending to help me.
I didn't run away. I trusted you, you know.
Huh? As always, you're such a smooth talker. The point is, if you had just quickly come to the rescue, we wouldn't have had to go through all that trouble.
Hold on, none of that was my fault.
Whoa, what are you saying when you're the ones who didn't contact us? We were on alert and responded as quickly as possible.
Huh? Isn't that what the magic transfer circle was for?
It didn't activate. I mean, shouldn't you have been able to make a call with this ring under any circumstances?
That's right, I was told that the demon's ring, which I had received upon becoming a demon lord, would allow me to contact the others under all circumstances. And yet, neither Guy nor Leon had contacted me.